Okay, so my name is Christian Spahr. I am CEO of a small company called BlockSpirit. And today I will just talk to you about our story a little bit. From the title of the presentation I'm supposed to hold, how to trade crypto, I should manage expectations a little bit. Two reasons. I cannot really tell you much about how to trade crypto exactly, for two reasons. Number one, I have 15 minutes, of which I already probably wasted 2 or something, plus 15 minutes discussion. And after that, of course, I'm not an expert either, and I'm still learning as well. But what I will tell you about is our story and our approach to crypto trading and how it led to us connecting with some of the members of the audience here. 3 of them being right here, but yeah, more on that later. So this is my team. This is me, the CEO at the top, and then in the middle we have George Leubli, a close friend of mine who is a co-founder as well and current CFO. And then at the bottom we have Marco Chini, a close friend of ours, and his part of the action is he's our legal expert and a FINMA expert. So basically he's our insurance to stay out of jail, mostly. You never know. Okay, so what is our vision? How did our little story start? Basically, we were passionate about crypto assets ourselves. We just liked the crypto space. Mostly it was George and I. And we were students at the time. And we just took on crypto trading as a hobby. Yeah, we like the blockchain space. And we just started trading by ourselves. And we just realized it's kind of a complicated business. There's lots to go wrong, and there's lots of things to automate. So we started to build our own little tools, starting from very simple spreadsheets that help with bookkeeping, simple stuff that anybody should do and can do, all the way up to building our own trading bot to take away some of the workload. But we realized there might be a business behind building these sorts of tools, so we turned our passion into our profession and founded our company, BlockSpirit.
Viel, ja, ist gut.
Gotcha, yeah. Okay, so now our company has developed, we have met, during our journey we have met a few of our partners now. The most influential ones for us being, of course, Core Technologies and Phoenix Systems, and the 2 CEOs of which we met through events just like this one, basically. When was it? 2019 or 18 already?
2018, yeah.
I don't quite remember, but it was 2 different events.
No, 2019.
One event in Zug is where we met Carla, right? And one event here in Davos, I believe, was when we met Thomas. So yeah, this is how we came together and continued our journey together. So from now on, basically what we do is we have inside of our group of companies, we are the ones specializing in blockchain-based tools or gadgets and tools to help interact and manage cryptocurrencies and crypto assets. And this goes from, it includes, of course, smart contract development, blockchains themselves sometimes, and of course, any tool that just helps with getting a grasp on things and making the blockchain space just a little more accessible. So, let's talk about trading cryptos. A good analogy is if you ask me, basically when people talk about trading cryptos, it's a lot like teenagers talking about sex, It's everybody says they do it, everybody thinks they're very good at it, but the reality check is most people have no idea what they're doing, and mistakes can be very expensive. This is typically what it's all about. And if you're struggling hard, but you really want to keep at it, in the end you might just consult professional help. You never know. Yeah, but most people just go online and try to find solutions there, and that's kind of where we come in. So, yeah, how do we get a grasp on crypto trading? So, as I said, we started out as students, like most people, like the analogy to teenagers getting their first experiences with crypto trading. And it basically costs a lot of sleep. So the problem was you start investing and you have no idea how to start and how to you have no game plan. You just go in there, you heard about this thing called Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and whatever else, and you look up the chart and you see the lines going up and down. You don't quite know what they mean, but the green ones are typically good news and the red ones are bad news. So you just buy and sell and just hope for the best. But it costs a lot of money and it costs even more sleep. So how do you continue? Right? The first step anybody can do, which I can recommend to anybody, is learn to control your emotions. Whenever you see, when we just talked about these fresh, hot cryptos for next year, maybe scenario, later in the break, you go online and see, okay, what is this Aave all about? What is Matic? What is R actually going to do for me? And you see the big green lines on the screen and you're like, oh yeah, it's going up. I should buy it. Take a step back and ask yourself, why am I suddenly interested in any of these coins? I heard some people in the audience talk about them, so I know some of the fundamentals, I know very basics of what they're about, and I see a big fat green line, so it's gonna go up forever and it's gonna make me a millionaire, right? Take a step back and just realize, am I just being emotional now? Am I just hoping for more green lines? Am I getting sucked into the FOMO? Or do I actually find this interesting? Do I actually think this has value in the long term? And is it actually a smart idea to buy it right now? That's number one. The number two is, which is what George and I have done in the beginning very early on, was we consulted a professional to teach us technical analysis. So actually, when you open up the chart on TradingView, any of these, or any app, I think Coinigy is another one, just what do all these lines mean? How do I draw trend lines? How can I tell, are we already in a hype phase or are we in a depression phase? Is it, is the coin, already overextended in its price? Is there actually room for it to move up? Things like that. So just raw technical analysis. You can start anywhere with that. There's lots of resources online. Crypto YouTubers that have referral links in their description don't count, but things like Investopedia are great resources to look up and interpreting charts and things like that. Now, you're still going to lose a lot of sleep in the process because, it depends on how much you invest and how important this is to you. If you're a student and you invest whatever you have and it actually makes a difference, then you're going to share some of our experience. But if you just dabble in, maybe start with a testing account first. On some crypto trading exchanges, you can have spoof accounts where they let you trade with fake crypto assets. So you can trade as if you can do real trades using the real price data, but it's not a real Bitcoin that you're trading. It's all just fake, just to try and see if you got it. So if you do that, you will lose less sleep. But that is how, those are some of the key points you have to expect and you have to keep in mind if you actually want to do this as a hobby. But yeah, it is a stressful hobby, and that's just something we have to accept. Now, this is not where it ends, right? So as I mentioned, we built some tools to help us navigate this, because at some point, we were still students at the time, and our long nights should actually be spent reading books and studying of whatever we have exams at the end of the year, instead of, trying to become millionaires overnight. So at some point we had the idea to build something like a trade bot. And this is what it looked like. We built a little script. George, or our co-founder, he told me about a strategy called portfolio rebalancing, which is, in short, it's a low-risk, low-reward strategy of basically managing a portfolio. Typically, just to explain it in a couple sentences, is if you have a portfolio of multiple different coins and their prices vary, then the algorithm just checks, okay, which one is outperforming everything else. Of this one we sell a little bit, and whatever is underperforming right now, we buy a little bit. And typically what happens in a very volatile market like cryptocurrencies, all the ones that are currently pumping temporarily, those will be sold a little bit, and those who are very cheap at the moment, you will buy automatically. So we wrote a little script that's connected to Telegram, the messaging app. How many of you have Telegram? Almost half, roughly half. Okay, should be more. In the cryptosphere, we usually expect more people using Telegram than anything else. But yeah, we use Telegram because it has a nice API to build bots like this. So it connected to our Telegram and spammed us with these messages. And if you can see it there, it just tells us it's buying ADX at the specific price and on which trading pair, so Bitcoin versus ADX. And it does that, you can see the times, 1 in the morning, 14 past 1, 2 in the morning, 3:42 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So in the end, this solves a couple problems. So we built some features in it as well, so you can turn it on and off, you can change some of the settings and everything. And it automated the trading process. It took a lot of stress off of our little minds there. And it solved some problems, but not all of them. Number one, you don't need to learn the technical analysis anymore because the algorithm does it takes all the decisions by itself. Number two, it's a low risk, low reward strategy. So it's not that adventurous, but it's not that adventurous, right? So depending on what you want, maybe you want a little more risk and potentially more reward out of what a portfolio rebalancer can do for you. And it didn't really solve the sleep loss problem because you see at what times the bot will trade. It's good that it does that when you're sleeping, so you don't actually have to do something. But it's still exciting, and you still want to watch it. You just want to watch it go and work and do something, and you check your phone every time. Oh, how much profit do I have from it now? Yeah. So you still lose sleep, but this time it's fun. And yeah. So this is the fact that it still has cons and it doesn't solve all of our problems, which it probably never will. But that's the reason why we continue to innovate and refine the systems forever until we're all dead or rich or both. Okay, so that is the summary of our story and our approach to crypto trading. And now let's continue the discussion about the fresh new coins and how we want to approach crypto trading. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My question to you, what is a typical client for you? Also, some clients may have money, but there may be too many questions, and some clients may, maybe you have quite a clear profile. What kind of clients you believe?
We answer all questions, basically. So if you have, if anybody, are you talking about PAM specifically?
Yeah.
Okay, so PAM is our portfolio rebalancer bot, and for legal reasons, PAM does not stand for personal asset manager. It's not an asset manager, God no. So our typical client is basically anybody who has who is holding a portfolio of crypto. So if you have like 5-10 different cryptocurrencies sitting on Binance, for example, and you're not doing anything with it because you're busy with, an actual career or a job on the side. So how do you get the most out of your crypto holdings? If you just do the buy and hold strategy and you just keep yourself mostly from interacting, from buying and selling, you just picked your 5 favorites a couple of years ago and you're sticking with them, then this trading bot is perfect for that exact scenario because you have it on your phone, it connects to your Binance account directly, and it just does a small adjustments to your portfolio all the time permanently to get a little bit of an advantage over the buy and hold strategy. Yes?
How do you guys make money?
How do we make money? We take a commission fee.
Okay.
So we calculate the difference between the theoretical buy and hold value, basically if you didn't have this bot at all, versus how much do you actually have. And of that difference, we take a cut.
Is this what is called stacking?
So staking basic is a different thing. Basically, any liquidity pool that Thomas has mentioned previously, they reward staking rewards basically. And there are multiple cryptocurrencies out there that do not work like Bitcoin, so proof of work, but they work on proof of stake instead. Basically what that means is you have to show a stake in order to get rewards. And the larger your stake in the cryptocurrency itself is, the larger your reward is going to be. So on a liquidity pool, for example, QuickSwap, we had some good experiences with QuickSwap. It was
How
fun.
quick is it?
It was very quick, but let's not get into that. Basically, it's a multi-liquidity pool, and you can look at it's a development on a decentralized exchange. So that means there is no centralized institution that has a liquidity pool so that people can buy and sell cryptocurrencies with each other. It instead is a decentralized system, like all on the blockchain, and the liquidity has to come from the users themselves, so that there's liquidity in the market. And in order to reward people providing liquidity, which is basically you show up, you have a bunch of Quick tokens or Aave tokens or whatever token is traded on that platform, you just bring those and say, okay, I have 100 of these and 100 of those. I lock them in this liquidity pool so that there's liquidity for the buyers and sellers who want to trade at market price. And you get a reward from basically, yeah, there's different systems. Sometimes it's the company behind the tokens themselves that want to be listed on the decentralized exchange. They reward you. If you provide liquidity for my token that's getting traded on this QuickSwap platform, then I reward you with some algorithm depending on how long your stake has been in there and how much it is and how much liquidity you provide. So you get a reward from them. And then there's, of course, centralized exchanges that run, that for the user it looks very similar, but the mechanic behind it is a little different. It's, well, it's for example, Binance. I don't exactly know what their business model is, but I'm guessing it's something like a fractional reserve lending type thing, and they just need liquidity for that. So if you agree to lock some of your funds from that you already have on Binance on their liquidity platform, they just reward you like with interest, like any bank, but like 20 times more or 100 times more actually.
But with your concept, you do direct trading on the tokens you have.
Yeah, direct trading on the token.
bot is at least doing the tradings on your behalf of your tokens, and not
Exactly.
borrowing or not staking or anything.
Yeah.
Is there a holding period you have? I mean, when you compare with staking, you just have bombed your money into that and you can't take it out next day. Or you have 30 days or something, even longer. And do you have this that you can move out anytime you like?
This is basically what this is. It's not a tool in between your funds and the trade. It's just a tool that you can use to trade without logging into Binance, basically, and this works automatically. So the way this works is you have a user account with Binance already, assuming, and on Binance, on your Binance account, you can create API keys. And our bot uses those to connect to your account. So you don't send us any of your funds or anything. They stay with Binance. And the bot, it listens to your commands. So as you can see here, there are you can get reports, but at the top right, below the offline command, you have the settings command. So you adjust all the settings, and then you set the bot online, and then it trades for you. Basically, it logs in using the API keys, and it just does the trades automatically on your behalf. But you have full control over it. You can turn it off at any time. So,
How complicated to install it?
It's on our website. It's not complicated at all. You don't need to install anything. You just have to have Telegram, this messaging app. You find this bot, Pam, as a user, and you start interacting with it. You tell her, hey, I want to create a new user, so on and so forth. It's like a command line interface.
It's interesting. So do you know how many clients you have so far? When did you start?
Not so many. It's like 20, 30, roughly like that.
But you just started recently, so you finished the product, or?
It's in continuous development because we still get feature requests. So we had one guy who was like, okay, I want to have a panic button. What if this is what he meant by that. It's if he sees all the cryptos crashing, he wants a liquidate all button so that PAM liquidates everything into Bitcoin. So if you have like 20 different crypto coins, right? And normally you have to log in, refresh the page for every coin and sell, and then, oh, it didn't go through, have to sell again and
but
do that.
But I understand, right? Sorry to interrupt you. You program the algorithm this way that actually when the market goes up, it sells some part or most parts, so you make profits. When the market goes down, obviously you buy, so you know what normal traders do normally, you know, and so it runs like that automatically, and basically, and then you get a cut of the profit, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Okay, but I understand you can't make a lot of commercial about it because then maybe you have FEMA knocking on your door because then might be a financial instrument. Correct?
This is why we have the third member in our team, the stay out of jail card. So that exactly does not happen. And it does not happen with our system because, like I said, PAM does not stand for personal asset manager because we are not asset managers, of course. And I
think it's a great idea. I really think it's a great idea. I'm just thinking, how can you scale it without getting into trouble?
Well, it depends on who has power over what. And basically, this is just a tool. So if you if we want to avoid getting into trouble, it's always a legal question of who actually uses it and who has power over it, who has control over this. So basically, this can be applied, and this has been applied for decades in the stock market. Like this is an old strategy. Like I said, my co-founder George, he learned about that while studying banking and finance, and it's a strategy developed in the 70s, I believe, for stock trading back then, and it's literally just. I mean, the algorithm is simple. Let's not get too much into that, but. Scaling it up you're talking about a B2B solution, for example. So for example, some actual asset manager comes to us and says, I want to apply this bot to our system. Then I would just connect with them and say, okay, how do you normally manage, like who has the license and the power to manage the assets, and then we talk with them how to implement this. But that would work. Speaking of B2B solutions and scaling this up, we get a lot of questions about what happens if everybody in the market uses this exact algorithm. Does it still work? And here we have to differentiate between two types of, and this is going back to crypto trading in general. So at some point you will research crypto bots or strategies rather. And there's two main types of strategies that we found. And number one would be predictive strategies, and the other one would be reactive strategies. Predictive strategies are, you make a prediction. So I'm predicting that Bitcoin is going up tomorrow, so I'm buying today. And I'm just hoping that my prediction about tomorrow is going to be correct so that I can sell tomorrow and get the profits. Or I go the other way around. I'm selling today because I'm predicting that tomorrow is going down. So those are predictive strategies. And reactive strategies are basically what this is. You already have a stake, a medium stake in all of these cryptos you're interested in, and then you just react to the market. If the price goes up, you already bought some, right? So you can sell some. Not all of it. You still need to retain some, because if it continues to go up, you can sell more and more at higher prices. And the same on the way down. You already have a small stake in every of these coins, but not too much. So if it goes down, you can just react and say, okay, now it's lower than I already bought, so I can lower my average entry price.
To know, okay, let's assume I give you my Binance account, which have, I don't know, 60 or 70 cryptos there. How do you know, how does the system know when I bought? What was the price when I bought?
It doesn't need to know that.
But if I bought higher, and I'm 50% down, but it goes up and then you sell, then it's a deficit for me. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta know where I bought actually.
Not really. We can go into detail as to how this works and how the algorithm works, because we ran all of those tests on, like we back tested that for all the crypto data we had available, which is basically years of Coinbase API data. How do I put this short? typically, the longer you let it run, I mean, okay, the way this makes money is not with actual absolute values in how much dollars is a Bitcoin worth and how much dollars is any of the other coins worth, but rather how do they perform relative to each other. If you have 5 different coins and they all go up at the exact same time and down at the exact same time, then this bot cannot trade at all, because relative there's no gains to be made. It's rather just, you can look at the average performance of your portfolio, and you always have speed bumps, right? So some of your coins for 1 week, Litecoin will perform higher than everything else, for example, or Aave or Pirate Coin might just dip down for no reason at all. And it's just taking advantage of these speed bumps permanently. So it's checking the price like every 60 seconds, so it's good at catching these very short spikes. And then if you just let it run over time, it's just measured by the average performance of your portfolio. So whenever something is above the average of your portfolio, it's getting sold a little bit, and if it's below average, it's getting bought a little bit. So over time, it equalizes. So it doesn't really matter where you bought initially, because that has no effect on your buy and hold value, right? So if you buy 5 different coins during the 2017 boom, right, and they're all very expensive, and then they crash simultaneously, then it's like, no bot can help you, like no reactive bot can help you.
That's
Right?
what I'm saying, obviously, because there's some coins.
Does this mean that the better you find cryptocurrencies that are not correlated, the better you are off?
That's exactly what it means. We have done backtracking with this, backtesting with this as well. So we had a correlation matrix for every month, basically. So the better coins correlate. So a lot of people will tell you this as well. So a lot of coins, they seem to move at the same time. Bitcoin and Litecoin seem to be very connected, and Ethereum and lots of things built on top of Ethereum. In most situations, they move at the same time. But we found there's like some coins that are completely decoupled from the rest. Not completely, but mostly, right? So XRP or EOS, for example. No fundamental reason for that. It's just that when they move up, everything else seems to have moved down, and the other way around. And the more of this you have, the more relative movement between coins you have, the more you can get out of a portfolio rebalancer.
So does it mean that you, for instance, approach somebody and tell them, listen, show your portfolio of currencies, and then you can say, listen, that's good or that's bad for our way of pan. Because you can maybe find out or give a rating in a sense that you say, listen, that's really very good for this kind of...
Basically, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what we could do. So if somebody were to ask us, okay, I have 5 different coins here, or 20 or 50 different coins, there's a mathematical algorithm for that, which, I mean, we can help you with. We should probably build a tool for this that's connected to Telegram so you can do it yourself. I guess that would be fun. You just push those the trade data in it, and it tells you, it gives you a correlation score. It's called a correlation matrix. So you have like 5 different coins in. You make a little what's it called, a grid. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and it tells you how well do they correlate with each other, and you just pick those that have the lowest correlation scores. I mean, if you really want to maximize this, of course.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, because Cryptomountain is for me a special format, because it's small, today a little bit smaller than the ones before Corona, but it's small. But I think a lot of good interaction, and I already loved this interactive atmosphere here. I think, Guido, you missed the most important part. I'm always a rebel, so everybody who knows me a little bit knows that something comes up now which has a little bit to do with revolution and rebel, to be a rebel. And I think this is not a very normal thing for, if you know my professional background, but this is my mission and my passion on blockchain. So today we talk about nothing. No, we talk about regulation versus freedom. who is the elephant and who is the tiger. I think a lot of people know me, but I would still give a small advertisement. So you have a 30-second block coming now up where I introduce myself and my background, and maybe I extend it a little bit because we talked about bullish coins which might come up. So, like, once too fast. Okay, now, hey, come on. Back? Okay, leave it like that. Okay, so I see myself in the main or the most important role of myself. I see myself as a blockchain fan and enthusiast, but still I'm also an attorney at law. I have an executive MBA in international finance and management, and I'm a certified Swiss board member. And above the red line, you see my present projects. And because we have a little bit more time now, otherwise I would have gone through quite fast, I will quickly introduce you a little bit the different projects where I'm now in. This is Lisk, which is technology. Some people say it's a competitor to Cardano. We develop a blockchain system where developers who know JavaScript can develop very easy with a SDK, with a kit, their own blockchain. And then we have Bancor, which is a decentralized liquidity pool exchange, one of the early projects. So these are the oldest projects. I'm still joining in the whole ecosystem. They were at the beginning, right after Ethereum Foundation established shortly afterwards. Then we have on top Audit Chain. This is at least a new project where with a team we are developing a platform which brings all the transactions according to accounting and to controlling on the blockchain, and which is machine readable. So it should be a very supportive instrument, not only for boards of big companies who are listed at stock exchanges, but also for audit companies. And we have already some of the big fives who are really interested to support it and going for it. Then going to the right is Gummy Bears or Gummy. This is a streaming video platform also connected with blockchain where you can get earnings on sharing videos, and also an NFT part is included in it. If we go down then a little bit to Liquid Apps, this is for EOS, solving the storage problem of the EOS blockchain. Then there's a bank, 1031. This is a bank together with Litecoin, which was mentioned today, TokenPay, Salamantex, working on a real ecosystem where for payments between the old world and the new world. It's based in Germany. Then we have Vault Security, where I'm an advisor. Arman is here. We are doing this project. He's the CEO, which is at least a lost and found, a shared platform application, and also a tracking platform, which is interesting for the all the companies who want to track the whole way of their products, the supply chain. So there's maybe also some interconnection to the other projects. And there's Notadec. This is with Johannes Schweifer from Core Ledger. I'm doing it together. This is at least a very simple application where you can just, if you have something to document and want to document it for that it cannot be falsified, it really has all the stamps on it. So if you want to use it for a court case later or want it for any legal conflict, then you can do whatever information you like quickly on it. The other ones below, there have been incorporation board member, Shapeshift, who I was the first president. You see Nimic, Cardano, Cosmos, but Tezos is on it, Wings, Golem, Patient Tourist, so some more. But now this advertisement block of myself, I'm leaving and going to the topic of today. If it. So, yeah, okay. Before we start anything in today's time, we always need terms and conditions. You have to do it everywhere in any platform. So I developed some terms and conditions or a regulatory drug instruction leaflet here. The presentation is not voting for or against regulation, and some regulations make sense. It also not contains the legal solution you are expecting. But we have also to see blockchainers, like we are all here, have started to revolutionize the world. This was our mission. And so for sure we have to understand the old world, and we have to understand also the technology of the old world, and we have to understand all the fears and the panic of the old world if they are confronted with blockchain. But this is not something which should guide us. For us, it's important that at least if we really want to achieve a better world with blockchain technology and all the things around, then we need at least to rethink any single stone of our old economy and old world, and any grain of sand we have to convert and to see what comes up. So the slides which are now coming up should inspire this process as a lateral process of thinking, so cross-brain, out of the box, brainstorm or brainstorming, whatever you would like, and should lead to a solution which is fine for your project. And Chris, if you're talking with your FINMA and the regulatory topics, maybe this is something for you later on here, and maybe also for other projects. So, and the most important thing for risk and adverse reactions, ask first your brain and not your lawyer. Okay, let's continue. Who is the elephant? There's the elephant, but this is not the elephant of this speech. If you click further, you see there's not only one elephant, there are even more. There are hundreds of elephants. Oh. And who are the elephants? We have to look at the next page. You are a small blockchainer with your tiny project, and if you look around your world, and this is just a sample depending on which areas of the globe you're interfering, then you have the BaFin, this is the German regulatory authority, the EU on top, targeting you as an elephant. Then you have the SEC in the US. Then we do a little bit framing. We have the nice guys of FINMA, so it's green, in Switzerland. Then we have maybe in this project the Financial Sector Contact Authority of South Africa, or we have the National Monetary Council of Brazil, or the Dubai Financial Service Authorities, or the Canadian Security Administration. So these are all your elephants which are around you, and where you have to take care of, or you think you have to take care of. So then let's continue. Who is the tiger? Here we see a really nice tiger picture, and now we look to who is the tiger. Continue, please. I'm sorry. You have to go click one more. Okay. No, it was too fast. One back. Okay, then we'll leave it like that. So it was not me. Not me as the tiger is, and now you click 2 times more. You. Now. Yeah, too fast. I always make like this, and then you go one step further, okay? Okay, yeah. So it's at least you are the tiger. Yeah? So we are talking today about the elephants and the tiger, and you are the tiger. And now we have to look where you are. So now it comes to the next. So this is a nice landscape. Where's the elephant? You see it over there on the left. Where's the tiger? You see it on the right. Why am I presenting this slide? Because if we discuss regulation and everything which is about it and all our challenges, we have to be aware that for 90% of the world population, these questions are not important questions and totally irrelevant. So 90% of the world don't care about these regulatory topics we have and challenges we have in our ecosystem. So just to balance a little bit what we are talking about. So, okay, yeah. Now you see the other view. There's a small tiger, a very sweet small tiger, and you see the elephant. And so the question is, and this was coming, I've seen it in a lot of discussions and a lot of conferences, everybody is scared about the elephant, so the regulation. Everyone says, oh shit, the regulation. And also in the projects where I'm in, every day it's discussed what is regulation coming up, what we have to do for the regulation, and then it squeezes you down. So we are scared about it, but why? Let's have a look to that. So here you see just 2 announcements out of the last days, or yesterday I wrote, or maybe it's the day before yesterday. One is from the SEC in the US, which fears blockchain projects with new regulations on exchanges. And on the right-hand side, you see at least just a few out of 150-page document of the new MiCA regulation of the European Union, what they did all, at least against us. So, and then I show you another document. This is out of the MiCA document, which is really the upcoming regulation on European level. I'm also commenting on this document, but I couldn't prevent that they are doing a couple of things. So if you just take this paragraph out of it, this means in future that if you're a Singapore-based project, but you want to offer token at the EU, you need an entity at the EU and an admission on that. Yeah? So this is now coming up. And also for the case, if you have already done your ICO, the ICO is finished for a long time, and you have some tokens left and you want to sell it on this European market, you need an entity within the European Union. Yeah? I fight it with the regulatory bodies about this and said it's nonsense because you cannot do it all around the world, but this is the reality. Or if you have tokens and want to trade them on an exchange with no entity and ambition in the EU to a person based in the EU or a company, then it should be not allowed anymore. Yeah? See this dimension coming up, this elephant, this real huge elephant coming up on it. So next. So, and what is the situation? I made it a little bit humorous because it's the end of the day. Yeah? So if you're then talking to this nice guy from the authorities, and he says, just follow the regulation. And then I said, I can't. Your regulation is not made for blockchain projects. Please change that it fits to our project. The authority says, oh, then wait until we have changed the regulation, but this takes time. And then you say, oh, I can't wait. I have to do my project. And the authority says, you have to wait. Or just follow the existing regulation. Yeah. Will it stay like this or will it change? Maybe, maybe not. How can I work with it? It's not our problem. We have to maintain the regulation. So now you are really said, oh shit. So then where you are going next? To your lawyers. So let's see what the lawyer, you have to shoot yourself beforehand. And now you comes up to your lawyers and you see what the lawyers tell you for a lot of money. Yeah? 400-500 an hour. They say, oh, regulation is changing all the time. Authorities give no clear statements. Courts have not done sufficient decisions yet. Authorities can stop projects anytime. It's difficult. It depends. We can give no guarantee on it. Better you fulfill the requirements. They are stronger. You have to maintain your local regulations. You have to maintain all regulations. We don't know, but we believe. And then a blockchainer comes up to himself and says, oh shit, it's impossible to fulfill the regulation of around 200 countries worldwide. Yeah? It doesn't help if I move my entity to a less regulated country, because if my users or my participants are living in other countries with higher regulation, I'm still in the regulation of the other countries. I have not the funds to cover all the global regulation. I don't know how the regulation will change. I can't amend my project because like the regulation requires. I need entrepreneurial flexibility. So why in hell is this so complicated? So, and now you are hopefully not too frustrated, because now the solution comes up. So this is the problem. Like you said, first generate a problem, then you can, then I can show up later on with this thing. So now we have to work on how to solve this issue. And I'm sure some of you have paid a lot of money to get answers on all these topics, but maybe some of you are not totally happy with the answer. So let's try today a little bit going in another direction, and this is a new path, and at least it's also an approach which not everybody has to follow up, but I just want to give you new ideas on it. So let's go further. Do you know how a frog escapes a milk bucket? He's swimming until the milk becomes butter. So, if we want to approach for this problem we have seen before, we have first to remember what blockchain was designed for. What was the idea of it when blockchain was developed? Blockchain was established to become an independent from authorities. Yeah? So think about it. Yeah? We have seen all the authorities here. We wanted to be independent from them. We wanted to cover the world for the benefit of all people on this planet. Yeah? And we still want to do it. And I think if you see the political and economical situation globally, we need this. Huh? This is an important part to solve a lot of problems we are facing even today. We wanted to be decentralized and independent from central authorities. We wanted to integrate all people of the planet in this ecosystem. We wanted to maintain flexibility in all kinds of applications, and we wanted to revolutionize the existing world. So, I ask you, why we want to block our vision and why we want to become part of the old decentralized world? Why we want to do that? Why only in regulation we want to stay centralized? Why narrow-minded, scared attorneys and old authorities should have the power to break down our ideas? Huh? So, let's go next. So what to do? We have to burst the handcuffs of the regulation. Okay, but how? So, and there I said, if you want to develop something new, you should always learn from the old system, first of all. So my approach was, before I developed this presentation here, to really have a look what happened in the old industry before and what did they do. And are there parts in it we could take as a base or could take as a development for our thing? So the first lesson I want to go with you through today is circle your business. So let's have a look. In tax, companies of the old economy circle revenues and earnings around the world to save tax. Everybody knows it. Huh? It works. Huh? Did somebody have the ability to stop it? No. Even the latest laws coming up now are not able to do it. They just move part of the tax to another part, and therefore a part of this tax goes back. Companies circled goods around the world to optimize VAT. Yeah? So there were goods really transported around the world on senseless missions and senseless distances just to do VAT optimization. Companies circled raw materials around the world to optimize purchase processes. Yeah, we know it in the Zug. There's a bunch of companies just doing trading on raw materials every day before, out of a logistical part, senseless trading, but from the economical side, to just move taxes and to optimize taxes. Companies circle stuff to prevent strong labor law regulation. Take Lufthansa, Austrian Airways, Vienna, where now are a lot of pilots based who are flying from Cologne. Yeah? So this has also been done. And production companies circle production steps around the globe to optimize the production. The best was shrimps flying from northern Germany to Morocco to be peeled and then to be transported back. Yeah? So they did quite a lot. So lesson learned one, I would say, circle your business if you want to prevent regulation. Now we go to lessons 2. And lessons 2 means split your business. So look to the environment. Companies at the old economy split their production to prevent environment regulation. Companies, according to labor costs, split their production to set up best labor environment. Companies split their process to prevent law regulation, and companies split their process to reduce liability and risk. Huh? Also, this is all happening in the existing industrial world. So, lessons 2, split your business. And as a summation, split and circle. Then you can prevent regulation. So, but now I would like to go a little bit further on the regulation with you. I don't know if you see or know this film. Here, Catch Me If You Can. All larger companies do exactly what happens in this film every day at any place in any sector. So they always try to be faster than the regulators and try to be better. Just in blockchain projects, only a few have really developed for our industry how to catch me if you can, how to escape or to bypass regulation in the best way. So, before I can give you now, coming closer to the recommendation and solution of it, I have to do with you a little bit of legal basics here. So, if we see normal topic, you have a company 1 in Switzerland, a contract company 2 in Switzerland. For everybody it's clear, regulation, Switzerland. If you have company 1 in Germany, you have a contract and a transaction, you have company 2 in Switzerland, regulation is Germany, Switzerland, depends a little bit which part of it, and you have to sort it out, or you have both opportunities. This is what we had. Now we go a step further, next step, and we say we are not working with one company anymore on one side, we are working with 3 companies on one side. And also on the other receiver side, we work with 3 companies. So the one part, the one side has 3 companies, the other one has also 3 companies. And now we split our whole, next one. We split our whole transactions into contract, transaction, payment, and decentralized approval. Huh? And then we already start to work in between. And now we also have, we have the question, which regulation now appears? Dubai, Switzerland, and so on. And now we split also the different transactions in two parts and let it circle between the different companies. Then already the question comes up for law firms and for authorities, which regulation is now here in place? So, I now go another step further. We have not three companies there in between, but we have above these companies on every side a company legal or regulatory cloud. This means all contractual topics, all legal steps are not connected to one of the three companies if not necessary or if not part of the transaction. So it stays in between at least the network of the companies which belongs to your project, and just this like landing spots then are used for landing the setting up to the regular world the contracts, the transactions, the payments, or the approval if needed.
It's quite fast. Can I go back here?
Yeah.
Also, all these now, I mean, you added now two additional elements. Also, you had the contract, and now you add the transaction payment and decentralized approval.
Yeah.
And I don't see now really the point. So you have quite a complicated situation, okay, but the solution I don't see now. So maybe you can make an example, a concrete example.
I have a lesson comes later, but I will answer right away, but we come later to an example. Okay. The topic here is if you have a simple connection where all contract, transaction, payment and approval is between two companies, one in Dubai, for example, one in Botswana, then you are stuck in between the regulation. You can do nothing, yeah, because the regulatory says, a regulatory authority says, yeah, this Dubai and this Botswana, these are the two connected countries. But as soon as you are splitting your business or your services in between different things, then it becomes more and more complicated to catch you on regulation on that. So if you take Chris, the model of Chris, what you have presented a little bit before, you have a bot. So we have now one company. So if anything happens with a bot, your customer, but you're protected for sure because you have a good expert in you, but you at least, Switzerland is the place where the court case will be, and at least everything what happened here is here. Yeah? If we would be able now to take your model and to say, okay, the access to Binance is in one company. The bot calculating the transactions is the second one, and the third company is taking care of the registration and that you enter the systems, yeah? Then you have three different topics, and if these three companies are in three different countries, for any regulatory body, it will be difficult to regulate it, because regulatory bodies regulating the whole process. So MiCA wants to regulate all processes on crypto within the EU. But if you cut it in separate slides and move it to different areas, then you never, the regulation can catch you if you can, in full. Okay?
Okay, I see.
But we come out a little later and we have time to discuss.
You make a system so complicated you cannot manage this anymore.
Let's first think out of the box, and then I answer you the question about it. Will be even worse on the next slides, Reto. Yeah, but later I come up to the pragmatic setup. So, but I just want to go with you really open-minded, out of the box, thinking in a direction, and then we ground it again to our daily life. Okay. So going to the next. So now it comes to sample. Stop. Now you can take the first one. So now I will go with you to a very crazy sample, just to, as lessons learned of what we have seen before, how this could be developed to an extent you would never use in your daily practice, but just to take it. So I would like to take now the case and say, this part here, these five guys, you are now the regulatory officer at the EU. You're sitting in your nice office in Brussels, and the user from Portugal is complaining about the system of a blockchain project and wants that you do regulatory activities against this platform. He complains he lost something of money, the bot was not good, so it was a fraud.
Don't get those.
No, I know there is what the topic. So this is the thing. So this is now your part if I present the case a little bit later. So the other group here, you are the nice politicians, political leaders in Portugal, and a lobby group of 50 of your voters wants to force you to stop activities of a blockchain project. This is a bad blockchain project. Stop it, please. Okay? So now you're sitting quite relaxed and say, okay, I will check out what's about, and now you get the case. And I give you now 2 minutes to read the case and to think about, according to regulation, how it could be approached. But don't worry, I come later also with a guidance to guide you through, but first you can see it. So now you can take the next topic. So here's the case. I give you maybe 2 minutes to read it.
Oh, yeah.
I hope the company itself keeps track of that.
You have to be crazy to think about to develop such a case. Everybody has more or less through? Okay, then goes to the next slide. And now we work on that first, just the first part. So now we take here the authority in Brussels, but the politicians, please listen to it as well. Yeah, so you are sitting there and say, I have a good solution for this bloody project. If only one of the companies is based in the EU, I bring them to court for any transaction. Huh? So, yeah, the problem is you can bring them to court, like you can bring any company and any person in US to court, even if you have no entity or you have never been in the US, you can bring them to court. But the problem is the court wants to know what was wrong or what did this company did wrong. And here it's already the problem that you have to show up in this complicated setup what the company did wrong. The authority and the politicians say, a bit difficult, we need another approach. So coming to the next one. So we have a solution. If the transaction was done from a user at the EU, I can sue all the related company for the transactions. Yeah, but the problem is, as you've seen before, we have sliced the transactions into different slices. So most of the transactions consist out of several parts performed by several companies. So which part and which company is the correct target in our case, in our regulatory case? And now we go further. So we take approach 2 and say, I bring all participating companies to court. That is my solution as the authority. So, yeah, okay, this works in one ecosystem, but have you ever brought 5 companies from 5 different countries to a court at the same time for the same transaction? Who have had such a case up to now? So, and how you will justify who is the right company of the relevant part if you see the sample case there. And now you ask yourself, is it working? So I always try to prove it with the reality. So take a few things out of it to make it more visible for you what on the legal side happens. Do you know that at execution committees, always 5 people shoot and one has a fake munition in it so that no one can be sued for to be a murder afterwards? Yeah? You do it in the transfer a little bit on regulation. Or do you know that if there's a crowd and one hits the policeman, and you don't know which one did it, you can normally not bring him to court. Huh? Or do you also know, in addition, that if you have a court and you have a judgment of the court, that at least to bring it then to these countries where the companies are based, you need special agreements for it. Even if I get here in Switzerland a judgment of a court, and the company who was at the court is in the Bahamas, you not just can bring this there. So catch me if you can. So let's go one further. Now the regulatory authorities and the politician said, okay, then I just take the last one in the row. This is my next approach. Yeah. But who is here the last one in the row? We have no one. So, conclusion, one, for stop here. Your regulatory officers will say one thing, I don't want to make a mistake. I'm working for the authorities, yeah? And I don't want to spoil my reputation. So this case, I don't touch. I go for a round of golf. So this part is now fine. And what do the politicians say? They do a little bit more. Eto? The politicians will come up and declare the opposition is the problem, the other countries are the problem, the bad side of humans are the responsible for such a topic, and I leave the case and go for my goal for a round of golf as well. Okay? So, but if you still don't believe that this idea is an idea you could approach for, then have a look, next one, to our existing world. I have flown a couple of hundred flights with Eurowings. And the best thing was some times ago that I was sitting in an aircraft from Eurowings and they say, this flight is a Eurowings flight operated by TUI Fly with a crew from Austrian Wings on an aircraft from German Wings. So, and if you then have a luggage problem supported on ground by the airports of Munich and Cologne, this was your destination you flew from and you're going to, with a baggage handling of Wizz and Coin, the flight was booked via Cheap Flights and which the platform is owned by Opodo. So, this is exactly a case where at least nobody can grab, you can grab nobody for responsibility on the flight. Yeah? Because first you have to separate who did what and who has what contractual relation. Yeah? And normally a lot of people will not touch it. Or next one, fuel. Everybody is complaining about fuel prices now. And the politician says, oh, we grab the people who increase the fuel prices and we will get them. Yeah? How you will get it? A fuel price is going until it comes to your car through 20 companies minimum. Huh? And they all take a share, more or less or less. So how in 10 different countries? They will never get it. They can just give you money for it and say, I deduct your fuel price. But you have no chance to do it around. Even if I would cut the price and say, oh, 150 is the top which you can sell it here, okay, then maybe some of the fuel will not be sold to your country, because if you get in the next country 250, then you don't care. Huh? So, and VAT I already explained, so that they do a lot of circling around to just create better VAT refunds and VAT. So I hope now you believe in it, that this is an approach you can go for if you have a regulatory problem. And I would like to top something, and then I'm slowly coming also to the end. If you look to the old world, they have a problem. Anything in the old world has an entity. Everything in the old industrial world has to do something between, except the customer as a person, entity between entity, entity, entity. And we have some more tools in blockchain. We have transactions, we can do transactions without participants. Yeah? We can do stateless entities. We can do anonymous participants. We can do DAOs, NFT, smart contracts. We have so many more tools according to our decentralization which can support our approach, which the old world and their regulatory don't have. And this is our advantage. This is something which is important. Next. Okay, so I said it. So last question. Who wins? One more. Tiger or elephant? Today we need for everything a study. So I will go now with you to studies. Takes the next one. The study one or statistic one says, the Institute of Wildlife Research in Marenga, on behalf of the International Association of Soil Protection for Wild Animals, found out in 2014 that in 55% of the cases in India, the tiger wins. So next sentence. So you have nearly a 55% chance on your side. And the statistic 2 is, just stop, not more, the Institute of African Nature Consequences on behalf of the United Nature Organization, UNO2, found out in 2020 that in Africa 99% of the cases the elephants win. This is a very bad situation for you. Next one, because there are no tigers in Africa. So, okay, next one. So, coming to conclusion, yeah? No, next one, conclusion. One more? Okay. So I would like to summarize here before my last 2 slides coming up. If you're a blockchain project, take your vision. You have a vision, you have an idea, take it. Take your idea, which is related to your vision, take the technology and this decentralization, and think about this decentralization. Tailor-made the needed flight level, also according to regulation. And here, this was your comment on it, or this here. For sure, nobody will build 20 companies here, like I said in my sample. But many projects I've seen and coming up said, I need to have everything in one company. And then you're going with this one company and you see everywhere the problems of regulation, the problems that you are squeezed. Binance was one of the early ones who did different companies already and started to circle and split like we do. And please keep your mind open to say, if I have a regulatory problem, not try to fulfill it if it's against your business idea. Try to think about it, how you can split it, like all the old industry and the big companies do, to solve the regulatory problem in a way that you can continue. So build the project as needed, not as your lawyers want to force you or squeeze you. Get your business done, win the crown, don't believe your lawyers, and for yourself, for us, and for all the people, please do it in blockchain. It's important. Next one. So, remember, you are the tiger. One sec. Huh? But this is not a real nice tiger. Next one. So, this is the tiger we need. Okay? Next one. Can pop up? So, this is the end of my presentation. And thank you for your attention. And I hope that you picked up a little bit of solution for regulatory.
The question is, Guido, if a lot of companies doing that, between circling, splitting, and doing this, don't you think there will be one day a global entity which tries to enforce that regulation, some kind of a law? You know what I'm saying? Because I hope not. Don't get me wrong, but there's always a chance, right?
My vision is to build up an ecosystem of stateless companies which are at least nowhere. And I'm pretty sure that you will have also on this planet for a long time not one government governing everything, or that you treat a company as a global company. They tried to do it on the European level according to saying, hey, come on, travel rule and whatever comes up, yeah, we try to squeeze it in, yeah. But at least it was never an approach really working. Take, for example, that you say, Germany said some time ago, we want to have the tax and tax revenues for any iPhone which is sold in Germany. It doesn't matter where it was produced. So we go at the point of delivery. It was a brilliant idea of the German finance minister to do it. And then I asked the question, okay, and what you're doing with your car industry? Because at the moment, all the tax from Volkswagen, all the net profits are based in Germany. If I'm now going to set it at the place or destination where they sell the car, yeah, they will lose a lot of tax. Yeah? So this tax level will always be waving and shaking. You cannot catch it. Now they try it and to say with different approaches, okay, they will get maybe a little bit more tax out of it, but they will never control it. You still have, after you have tried out Switzerland, you still have Delaware, you have still Cayman, you have still Bermudas, Bahamas, you have a lot of places, yeah? And you will still find on this, out of the 200 countries worldwide, you will find sufficient countries, yeah, who have a different regulation or a regulation which is more in favor of you. I was also in contact with 2-3 countries, the governments, and wanted to convince them to give a very liberal blockchain regulation to build it up so that they are the new center point of the world, because all the regulation we have now is directing in a very bad direction. As I said, they are scared, yeah, or they have political motivations. They want to come up in the health system. They will come up with a world government that the WHO in future decides in a pandemic situation about all the measurements globally. This is on the way. Yeah? So there is some things coming up. But as I said, we have all the tools in our blockchain ecosystem available, and we have all the corporate tools already in the old industrial world to escape, to go in the way that our project, it doesn't matter what it's about, can be done. If we want to do a criminal activity or terrorist activity, this everybody has to decide on his own. I'm not supporting it. No, absolutely not. But there are other topics, like Chris said before, according that people maybe don't want to disclose all their assets. Huh? You have seen it now. If you're Russian, have a Russian passport, your assets are in danger immediately, even if you have nothing to do with the whole topic. Or the European Union wants to get a register of all your assets. Yeah? Do you want that all your assets are visible on the European Union level, that they know exactly what you're doing? Yeah? Because partly you don't want that your wife knows what you're spending, yeah? But why you want to give it like this? But here I said, if you think about all the topics, there are solutions. Yeah? And they are not solutions you find in a local law firm. These are things which you have to develop yourself. You have to learn from the old industry, and you have to split the processes that normal authorities for a long time, I don't know if it's forever, but for a long time are not able to catch you. Huh?
Did you ever try to analyze the possibility of an international waters based entity? So
what? International?
An entity based on international waters. So on a vessel.
Okay.
I mean, there's examples in the wealth management where people take residence on these floating hotels, international waters, to avoid taxes completely.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes my uncle was the finance minister of Sealand, which was an oil platform in the Northern Sea, and he was responsible to produce the money. And the problem was only it was an oil platform out of the 12-mile zone, and it was at least so a good place for it. But what did they do? They sent some military and just moved the people away from it and put some to jail. So the problem was solved in an easy way. You don't need a vessel. I give you a very small example to solve your topic. Huh? I want to sell you this business card for 1 Swiss francs. Okay? But I decide now I don't want to do the business myself with you. So I'm incorporating now here this Beamer Limited, okay? And you say, oh, I don't want to do it myself. I want to do it with the Glass Limited. So take this Glass Limited. We have here the Beamer Limited, yeah? And now we do the transaction between this Beamer Limited and this Glass Limited. It's now in no commercial register registered, none of the companies. Is the transaction possible? Is it possible? I give you one Swiss francs in crypto, and you get my business card for 1. Is it valid?
I would guess, yeah.
Who thinks it's valid? Who thinks it's not valid? Okay, so you're a little bit alone. It's valid because I accept your Glass Limited for this business, and you accept this one. I don't need the government. I need just the acceptance. So now we take not ourselves. We would say just.
This one is registered in Switzerland, and that one is registered.
No, it's not registered in Switzerland. It's nowhere registered. It's just that you agree that my Beamer Limited is existing, and I agree that your Glass Limited is existing. I don't need a commercial register for it. And now we take a bit bigger group. We take 50 million people who accept a commercial register, which is stateless nowhere, but they accept that any company who is in this register incorporated is an existing company I am maybe trading with or not. So I don't need the vessel, I just need the acceptance. Because if I do a transaction now with a North Korean Limited, I can do it because I accept that North Korean commercial register is for me a trustful registered partner. But if I decide North Korea, no, these are just dictators and this is all scam, and I say no, I don't accept this, then I'm not doing a trade with it. So your idea is good according to the vessel, but you don't need a vessel. You just need a platform, a decentralized platform where you accept trades and partners. Huh? We have in Germany, we have the GBR, this is the Gesellschaft bürgerlichen Rechts, a society of civil right. It's in no register, But the German law said, for example, if Bernd and I are taking an apartment and we buy together a washing machine, and anything happens with the washing machine, he wants to take it out, or he wants to wash the stuff of his girlfriend or his wife in it, and I don't agree on it, then the German law treats it as a society built by itself. So we have law on it. We can discuss according to law. So he cannot sell the washing machine, I cannot sell it, we just can do it together. It's a question of at least also acceptance or setting up. There's no commercial register needed for. So if you think about the idea, it's at least everything what we do on this planet, it's at least between people. That we have, for property, we have registered, it's not in all countries. Commercial register set by the government, here Swiss government, CEFIX, all in it. Yeah, this is fine, it is helping us. It's good for tax reasons in Switzerland, it's good for location. But the deals are at least done according to acceptance. This is the base for any trade.
But a second thought on that is if these entities are recognized, as you say, as unrecognizable, meaning they're not, nobody can grab them, that will then also mean if I'm doing a deal with your beaver company and I'm giving you $1 million to implement the platform, and once I've given you the $1 million, you simply disappear. I, as a businessman, would never do that. I would want to know where you have your house, where your dogs are, and so on, so that if you don't deliver the platform, I can send somebody.
Good point. And I tell you the answer on that. If I'm doing a deal with a Swiss company registered on the commercial register, and they disappear with the 1 million, then you have the same problem. You have first of all to find out with the register who is the owner. Second, where is the house? And third, where is the other stuff? Because all this is not in the commercial register. Yeah? And if I say, sozusagen, I'm dealing with you with this deal without the commercial register, I can still say I give you the 1 million, or I can ask you and say, hey, please, do you have a house? Do you have things where it's located? It's also not in the register. This is in commercial. You have no, if I'm doing with a Swiss company a 1 million deal, I have no guarantee that I ever see my money back. I can go to court, the company goes into insolvency, liquidation, there's nothing in it, you get nothing, fine, empty, finished. Huh? But this you can do because in interaction, if I take a Bernd, I can ask him, hey Bernd, before I give you the 1 million, can you please show me your tax declaration? Can you show me the value of a house? We go around your house and have a look to it and your gold bars and your treasure. I want to see it before I do the deal. Now I trust you, I give you 1 million. This is the way how we do trading.